Hello and welcome to another episode of the Virtuous Woman Show. As always, I am your host, Sheila Juma, and I'm so delighted to have you with us this evening. We hope you've had a great week and you've had a great Sunday. We are going to have an amazing show as always. If you're watching us for the first time, you're very welcome. Please go ahead and share this broadcast if you're watching on YouTube or on Facebook. Share this link with somebody else and let them share in this blessing that this show is going to be. As always, we would like to ask you to follow us on our social media platforms. We are the Virtuous Woman Show on Facebook, on Twitter, on Instagram, and YouTube. Go ahead, subscribe so that you don't miss any of our uploads for any of our shows. Today, we have a guest that is not so new to your faces. We've had her a couple of times, and we had to say for this particular topic, she would be the perfect candidate to engage with us. We are talking about parenting in the 21st century, particularly raising the boy child. The boy child is seemingly being forgotten these days, and so we want to delve into this topic on parenting and how the modes of parenting have changed over the years. So karibu sana.
Thank you.
Mrs. Kagunda Jiri. Yes, thank you so much for coming.
Thank you so much.
We are glad to have you once again.
Yes.
So you normally talk about this topic to seminars, to churches, to people,
yes,
to different conferences.
Yes.
So I'm sure you know quite a lot, and we're excited to learn from you.
Yes, thank you.
Talking about parenting in the 21st century, could you kindly point out to us what are the differences between, you know, parenting in your day when you had younger children and parenting now when people, let's say my age, are having children? What are the differences?
Wonderful. I want to begin by saying, point number one, that we are talking about parenting in the 21st century, and the moment we mention it, it adds thrills to many of our viewers and all over the world because they are talking about our children these days. However, I would like to point out, number one, that what I know is that children do not change. It's time that changes. Yeah, that's the first thing our viewers, we need to check, and we need to take note of and put it at the back of your mind as we move on to realize that children do not change. And why do I say this? This is because number one to note is that in the 10th century, the children were remaining in the womb. The fetus was in the womb 9 months. The same case in the 1st century, and so do in the 21st century. Children are still being born in the womb, and they remain there for 9 months. And they come out. But people say they have changed. But we need to understand it's time that changes. Number two, what has changed, number two, during our time and the times beyond us? I would like to say this in a summary. We grew up, but the children of today are brought up.
Wow, okay.
Let me say it in that elaborated. We grew up, comma, they are brought up. And between those two verbs, growing up, brought up, those two verbs have brought all the difference.
All right. Tell us what are the differences.
The difference is this. When we grew up, our parents were together with us. Not necessarily hands-on. As some people would like to say, that when a parent go to work, some will take it as abandonment, etc. You are not very interested with the child. Not so. Our parents were not there all the time. But they gave us space to look for the way forward. As we were growing up, they would know when to psychologically wean the child. We normally know about weaning, where you wean the child from breastfeeding. There is that breast weaning, but there is a psychological weaning, where they knew now at this point, you are in a position to make some decision. They will not let you on your own, but they will step aside a bit, and watch you and allow you. If you make a mistake, they are there to hold you and tell you, move on, wake up and move on. However, today, you'll find a parent taking a child to boarding school. It's like literally, it's him or her who is going. It's a Form 1 or 2 or 3, a child is in Form 3 who cannot organize the box as they are going back. It is the parent who packs. Yet it is the child who will go to use the box. And you find that the parents are hands-on, and it's like we have convinced our children we are at their mercy. Your grades are going to add to my public image. They're going to build my sense of well-being. Our parents never did that. They made us understand what you are going for in school is for your own benefit.
Not for mine as
Not
a parent.
for mine.
Okay.
I got mine. If I didn't go to school, that's okay, but I got mine. So what that part there, that children, we grew up, they are brought up. And it comes back to the parent to understand when to psychologically win, step by step, as you walk alongside, so that they become responsible citizens.
So at what point should we say, of course it's different for each child,
Yes.
but what are the signs to look for to know, okay, right now it looks like would be the perfect time to psychologically start winning my child?
Yeah. Now, for example, when a child is going to school, and you do everything when they are beginning, but there comes a time when they are in grade 4, grade 5, and perhaps grade 6 is a CBC currently.
Yeah.
The child can be able to wash himself, but you are still watching, you are still supervising. Did you clean yourself at the back? No, Miss Siviki, what do you want us to do? And that way. Now, and then when they are dressing, you know, at this point, when they are in grade 4, they are supposed to brush their shoes in the evening. However, the parent of today still have the worker. There is that house worker, the person who assists you. They will come and do everything. They brush the shoes for the child. The child is simply only doing homework. What will happen tomorrow when the child goes to boarding and they are far away from you? They will never remember. There is that time, like in standard 4, there are a few duties the child should have. And I still remember, Aisha, if I tell you, there was a time we would know the structure. Tulikuwa tunaimba kama wimbo, unatoka shule, unatoa nguo, unakula, unaenda kuchukua maji kwa mto, unarudi, unaoga miguu, you sit down for prep. We knew the structure, like there was a routine. It was not written anywhere because our parents could not even write, but it was written. And then on Saturday, we knew the dress of Saturday, on the Sunday, and on Monday, the uniform. Today, our children do not differentiate. They put everything anytime.
They are waiting to be told.
To be told. So, and sometimes they are big. So the parent have not yet, the parent will understand the child, individual differences, ability of this child to know at this point. Begin with the small duties, washing your handkerchief, washing the innerwears. You remove them from the house worker, whoever is doing that for
and
you.
Give them to the child.
And small by small, and then supervise. So that if it is not well done, the child can be able to be told, repeat it again. You didn't cleanse. How cool. You didn't cleanse it enough, do it. So the parent is there to move around with the child, and the child, that is psychological. You move on that way until the child has stood. And by the way, parenting never ends. Even today, at age 56, my mother is still parenting me. When you go home, she still have a point. And sometimes she can listen to all of us talking as her children somewhere. Na anajua yule anaharibu wengine, yule ataharibu wengine. Anakuja hapo mbio, anambomoa hiyo kikao. Unaambiwa enda ukaangalie ng'ombe, enda uwekelee maji, na saa hiyo it's not the duty. Anajua kuna sauti hapa, kuna mmoja wa hawa ataharibu.
She knows her children.
Yes, so she knows us. She knows us. So, and then she'll call us again and tell us this is the way forward.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Thank you for that. Now, when it comes to raising boys, of course it's different from raising girls. I can imagine. My mother is a mother of only girls. So I didn't grow up with a brother, so I don't know what it means to have a brother in the house, or what parenting of a boy child should look like. So, of course, there's differences between raising a boy and a girl. And today we have products, men who are products of parents who did not necessarily know how to raise a boy child. And because there's so much girl empowerment, which is not wrong, but the boy child is looking like amesahaulika. So before we even get to the point of boy child amesahaulika has been forgotten, back to parenting. When you start parenting a boy, what are some of the things that you should be on the lookout for that is different from a girl?
one of the things that the boy child will require at an early age is the aspect of structure. The brain of a man, a male, is a step-by-step brain. It's one thing at a time. If men are talking, it's one man talk, all the others keep quiet. The boy child, if you want to move, and for example, not only parenting, even when I'm teaching a mixed class, boys and girls, I'm sensitive enough when I ask a question. Now, what are the factors that lead to soil erosion? Hands up. I always know the boy child will be slow to raise up his hand. But the girl child, they are even studying and shouting, whether they know or not. Because the boy child, in terms of thinking, the male brain, the man must be sure, slow and sure. So they are still wondering, the brain is still sorting out, is it true? Is this the answer? But the girls,
whether they know or not.
Whether they know it. So what I want to put across is structure. So make sure that you understand the boy child is different from a girl child. The structure. Number two, the boys keep on telling us, tell our moms not to repeat something so much.
Wow.
And when they are talking to us, not to shout. Now we women, we think when we are shouting, and girls is when people are hearing more. But the boy child says, when you told me, I had. But it's taking some time. So when we are bringing them up, these are areas to touch on, to understand on. And that is why the male figure comes in.
Yeah.
The male figure will say, one, nimesema hii kitu ifanywe, full stop. Because the man is a symbol of authority in the home. And when children learn to understand that and respect their father, they are able to hear the instruction. So what I want to bring across here is the boy child requires a lot of role modeling. The role models must come in. And not to be left for the media, the TV, to check on everything, and then the internet, and then copy everything. The role modeling must come in. And that is why we say, when you are bringing them up, expose them. Guided exposure, not free gear, so that they go and see everything, whether good or bad, but it's guided. This is where we are moving to. And that way the boy feels they have direction. All
right. Beautiful. Now, in the beginning you mentioned something, that it is not that children have changed. It is that time has changed. So the child is brought up in they are conceived the same way, they grow the same way in the womb, they are born the same way, but time has changed. And the time we're living in today is the age of technology. So has technology played a role in maybe changing the way parenting is done today?
Yeah, it has. It has. Technology has changed the way we handle our children. For example, when we have the TV and the children spend more time there, it lowers our physical contact with the child. Way down before, in 1970s and 80s, I remember we would do a lot of manual work together. Your mom tells you, Saturday we are all in the field. And when we go there as we are working, there is a lot of storytelling. And when you are telling stories, your mother can know who you are. Because it's a free gear and you are laughing and all that. Now today, we want to have our work done by machines. We have other people come in and do it. And then we go to the technology and find out how it is best done within a short time and in the best way. Okay, it brings modernization. But at the same time, the physical contact is lowered, such that the child comes into adolescence and it's like you are strangers. Number two, communication is lowered through technology. Because now, when I'm away, I'm talking to them with the phone. And I have to communicate, and I will write SMSs and all that. So the communication, and it was through communication that I will understand the growing up of this child. So technology, for sure. Then there are role models that comes through internet. The children want to grow like
so and so.
Whether they are good or bad. And the parent doesn't have access to that role modeling. Doesn't even know who it is. So you find it has affected them. It needs to be minimized and adjusted.
Right. Now there's this notion that boys are harder to raise than girls, especially when you get to the teenage years. God forbid something happens and they get exposed to the wrong things or the wrong kind of company, and they get into drugs and all sorts of things. What would you advise me to a parent who's going through a situation where the boy is totally detached, the boy doesn't know or want anything to do with the parents, and they are, for lack of a better word, estranged. They are just out there doing their own thing. What would you say to such a parent?
Such a parent faces a very difficult situation because the boy has come to a point where he has closed himself to himself. And it's like he's not accessing anyone. However, still being a human being, no human being will ever close himself or herself without one or two people knowing what they are thinking. Personally, I've had many situations where I've been brought to those boys in the counseling setup, and I have always known that I have to learn how to press the right button. Otherwise, if they continue keeping quiet, we are done badly. But imagine, in one way or another, I will not start with the counseling when they come.
Okay.
I will start very far from football.
Oh, okay.
Who is your
Favorite
player? How did the Arsenal do the last time or whatever? And for the first time, you find the boy say, and the face changes. And alafu anajiambia kwa kichwa chake, you mean I'm safe? I thought I'm in danger. It's like I've come again for a discipline action. And from there, the moment he opens, you are able now to move.
So basically, the first step is to come to their level.
Come to their level.
Yeah.
And settle where they are. And look for a common front. What can I talk with a boy you're from to?
Yeah.
It has to do with playing. It has to do with Olympics if they are there. It has to do with who is your best footballer. And they appear, you'll find them now begin to talk to you. Now, where we fail as parents is simply going direct and hitting. And the boy says, continue talking. I'm not talking. And you are hitting again and again, and things are getting wayward. You need to press the right button.
Yeah. You need to know the buttons of your child. Because again, every child is different.
It's
so
very unique.
Finding out their hobbies, what their interests,
what
their likes. Yeah. Awesome. Now, when it comes to absent fathers, you said earlier that the father is a figure of authority in the home. And so if that is absent, there must be some sort of effect on the boy child, especially the boy child, because of the father figure not being there. What are some of the effects of having an absent father?
Obviously, Juma, the first thing is a woman cannot instill manhood. She can instill discipline, she can nurture abilities, she can raise a good child. But when it comes to manhood, we don't have a share. The same case, men cannot share womanhood. It's their genders. And therefore, if this boy is raised without the presence of a male figure, whether an uncle, whether a close relative, or a father, a little father, there is an aspect of manhood he lack. For example, I know of a situation whereby a gentleman has been raised without a father. And when he comes to marry, the moment he marries, it's like he's not marrying a wife. He's not marrying a wife, he's marrying a mother.
Wow.
He has grown knowing women are very strong. They give, the mother gave them food, school fees, etc. So when they come and they have married you, and you are asking them for food, you are saying, let's do this. They wonder, what kind of a woman? I had a woman called my mother who did everything. And then they never saw the input of the man. So he can get into adulthood thinking life is a free gear. Okay, I saw my mother struggle. That's what the man is saying. But she made it. She knew how to sort it out. Why are you not sorting it out? That's what he's asking in his mind. So that brings a conflict. And if you check properly, it's because he has not been engaged in that. Another thing has to do with the authority. The authority. A man, I said, is a figure of authority. Tunasemanga mwanaume ndiye kielelezo cha mamlaka katika mboma. And that is why God gave men a deep voice. So that when he talks, he doesn't have to talk 3 times. A man talks and acts. But a woman will talk and talk and talk. watoto wanamwangalia na wengine wanaendelea. It's normal.
Yeah.
That's a way, because a man now teaches the male child to have authority.
Yeah.
To be able to, authority is not fighting. Authority is not violence. Authority is ability to give instructions and they are taken. Like my father would say, nobody should do this. I remember it is in our home whereby there was a chair that you could not sit on. It was for my father. Our father would have a chair, his own chair. And
even on the dining table?
Yes. And when he's not there, nobody sits on it. It's a way of expressing authority.
True.
Now, when a child knows that, and finally you get married, or you marry, the child will not get confused, like you are saying you have your own chair in this home, I thought we are all equal. So, but if they have not seen it, they don't have that part as they grow. So, and it brings a lot of conflict in the time.
True, it really affects even the relationship.
The relationship.
That's true.
Yeah.
Now, when we come to a point I had made earlier, that these days there's a lot of girl-child empowerment, which comes from a very honest place, because in the past there have been eras or times where girls have been put down and all these things about women's rights. It's a thing of maybe 30 years ago when it started, maybe. But now it came to a point where it got so much that the boys were now, there's so many women conferences. You rarely hear of men conferences. There's so many women shows, Virtuous Woman Show. You know, there are very few men shows. You know, what is the solution to this very big imbalance in today's society?
I think we as the community that is understanding the impact of girl-child overpowerment. We know that these children, the girls will be overpowered, but the question is who will marry them?
Who will marry them? And
how will they stay with them? We still have to come back as a society and learn to create the parameters to enable the boy to navigate their social roles. And the parameters have to come back to the communities like the church, communities like the barazas, and even like where we are now, creating deliberately a show for them. And when you come back to the church, the men's seminars, and I think it is starting. I think it's high time that we begin also to call all the men. But when you call them, you've got to bring in the money matters. They like hearing about investment and all that. But in the process, you bring in what they need, their responsibility at the home level. So calling the man back to the home is important through all the parameters that we can, and particularly providing role modeling for the boy child, creating quality time with the boy child if you are a father. Go back and create not quantity but quality time. Make it quality time. Number 3, doing practical work with them. Make sure you look for something, even if you are going out to buy gas and the gas imeisha, and we are saying, the man is saying, all the girls and your mother remain home. Ian, I don't know who else, chukueni ile. Twende. And they are doing it. And when they hear girls are remaining and they are going with the father, they normally call it man-to-man outing. I remember this one time, our son, who is now 27, he was around standard 8, and the father was going somewhere for the whole week. This is what I would like to share. He gathered us a day before for supper, and then after supper he said, now everybody listen, I'm leaving tomorrow and I'm going for a whole week. And when we were there, the sister was there, the other one was not there, the small one, and he was there started 8. Now, and I was here. He told the son, I want you, now I can point, I want you to know, when I leave tomorrow, you will not up. I tell you, I saw my son smile. You know, he was looking at all of us and saying, I'll be in charge of all this. You know what he was doing? He was instilling manhood. The following day, when he left, around 6:45, it was still during the daytime. I saw my son get in the house, get a torch, and it was during the day, 6:45. He moved around the whole compound. Now he was saying that he's taking charge. And then he went back. He did that every day until the father came.
Wow. So
when we were taking supper, when he came, I said, I have something special to say. And then I said, when you left us, and you gave this one responsibility to take care of us, every day he was taking charge and checking the security was intact. I saw the boy do this, look at the sister, smile, and he was saying in the heart, I hope my sister knows they are talking about him. Do you know that one gave him, let him know that you are a man.
Yeah.
And a man is a protector. A man is a priest of the home. A man is a leader. Because upon their shoulders, every man is born with the government.
Amen.
He's supposed to, and that's what the Bible says, to take care of the garden. And not at least, not the least one. I would also say that in every man there is a warrior. There is a warrior. Kuna mtu wa vita. Do you know if something happens, girls and the women will be told, and children, stay here, na munafugiwa if there is insecurity, and the men will go and fight for us. In every man there is a warrior. Not to beat. And men need to understand this as we raise these young men. Let them understand we are not competing with women. In fact, even when you see your wife has done so much, wanaume wanaangalia wanasema hii ni mambo tu ya wanawake. They make it, you don't compete.
Right.
You don't size up with a woman.
Right.
Yes.
That's very powerful. That's a very powerful example and testimony of your son. I think it's very practical of the things a man does to a boy and what the influence a father figure has to a boy. Let's talk to single mothers who have boys in their homes. They don't have that authority figure. What kind of advice would you have for them in terms of raising their son and instilling those principles in their son?
Thank you. Society always provide for that. What do I mean by that? The institutions that we raise, like the church, like the community, we used to have the uncle, we used to have your brother alongside you. I would advise them, as the boys are growing up, recruit others to parent with you. For example, teachers. You go to a school and there are male teachers, there are female teachers. Recruit them, not really formalizing, but they are there, like father figures. Or the church. And actually, the church can come up in a way that you are able to stand like men, as men, such that the boys can see the father figure. Not in a formal way, they don't come to their home, but at least they can see the responsibility they are carrying out within a community. That way, it is still order.
Yeah.
So with those children, with or without a father, they can make it.
Okay.
And they can grow a healthy life. But I would request, like a single mother, to know the following. One, point your children to the God of Isaac. He's a true father.
Yeah.
He's a true father. Number two, give your children hope. This for single parenting. Give your children hope. Don't tell them you don't have a father, you'll never make it, your father left you. Give them hope. Let them move on. And number three, I would like them to know you can never raise a healthy child as a single mother if you do not heal from within yourself.
Amen.
You yourself, you heal so that you accept your child.
Yeah.
Whether he looks like you or looks like the father who never brought him up, heal yourself so that you impart that health. And through that, you'll be able to raise a healthy child.
Amen. Thank you so much. I'm very surprised at how much time moves.
Yes,
unfortunately, our time is up.
Okay.
But I would like for you to tell people where they can find you and how they can reach out to you.
Okay.
And I know you give talks in different places. So if anyone who's watching and you'd like her to come and have a talk with your church, your seminar, your conference, she's available. So just kindly tell us where we can find you.
Thank you. You can find me. I work in more in the University of Eldoret, but I live in Kirinyaga County, Kilugea Town. And I am. You can reach me through 0726 244 375 or email me Kagunda@gmail.com. I am available. I love to give back to the society. I do well with the seminars, couple seminars. I do well with the parenting in schools and also youth programs in the churches. I also work very well and produce very well with corporate. Of late, I have entered the corporate world with work balance and stress management to enable them to move on.
Awesome.
Please call me and God bless you.
All right. Thank you so much for being with us today and pouring your wisdom on us and on our viewers. She's also an author, so if you'd like to purchase any of her books, kindly reach out to the numbers that are on your screen and get yourself a copy of one of her books. We're really delighted to have had you today. I know it has been inspiring. I know it has been informative. I'll see you same time, same place next time. Bye-bye.